What would Americans do without public education? Would citizens be the same people they are today without it? How would society be different? Most kids are offered a public education, but many still suffer because their countries don't allow them to learn. Many Middle Eastern countries are against public education, but especially for women and children. Most countries around the world offer women and children the same rights as they offer men, but in the Middle Eastern countries, they suffer from unequal rights to education. Rights to education in the Middle East are very slim because children's and women's rights are limited. However, people like Malala Yousafzai are fighting back. Children's rights to education in the Middle East are very slim to none. They are very poor compared to other countries, and the governments do not spend their money on public education. The kids have to fight and struggle just so that they can earn a decent education. In a CNN article written by Gordon Brown, he talks about the limited money and how they only give each child $13.75 for public education, which is 250 times less than the Western countries give their kids, which is about $1,000. Another reason is because global aid is falling in these countries. In an article written by Gordon Brown, he talks about how people are questioning if giving the poor kids education would benefit as much as giving the rich kids education. Some people see it as a waste of time. This is one of the many struggles, but children are not one of the only ones that are struggling. Women's rights to education in the Middle Eastern countries are also very low. A lot of the women lack basic literacy skills. Iqbal writes, roughly 781 million adults are illiterate, and 2/3 of those are women. In an article written by Brown, he states that only about 1 out of every 250 girls get a public education. Some of the few reasons that women do not get public education in these Middle Eastern countries is because a lot of them become child brides and then never return to school, and a lot of people think that they are only good for house chores and being a mom. A lot of people also believe that is irreligious and improper. One other reason is because of terrorists, and the women think that if they go to school, they will be the next victim. These are just a few of the reasons why women have limited rights. Malala Yousafzai is a great example of women fighting back and standing up for their educational rights. She was gunned down at age 14 by the Taliban, and she is very known around the world. She is a big influence today in public education, and she has won a Nobel Peace Prize, and there is a $10 million fund in her name. She opened a school in 2015 for girls, and she has a huge voice, and her story is heard all around the world. She started writing a diary at age 11, and that is how she became known. She got others to take action for all genders, ages, and races being able to go to school. In conclusion, in the Middle Eastern countries, women and children lack the right to good education, and people like Malala Yousafzai are fighting back. What would Americans do without public education? Would the citizens be different, and how would a lack of public education affect our society? Thank you.